What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Triangle. My name is Demetrius.
I'm CJ.
I'm Brandy.
I'm done. I knew it was a bad idea to let her go last. I already knew that was gonna happen. Oh my
You
god!
set yourself up. You brought this on yourself.
You worry about your own self. Anyway, welcome to our podcast. I hope you guys are ready for some good times. We're gonna start off. Yes, we're gonna start off with a little bit of a short intro from everybody. So, D, if you want to just take it away real quick.
So, like I was saying, my name is Demetrius Kenny. Once again, welcome to the Triangle. And yeah, I'm Demetrius Kenny. Any questions?
I mean, you want to tell us like what you're into right now, what you're doing, where you live? I mean, don't give us your address.
I live in the beautiful city of Las Vegas, Nevada, by way of Okinawa, just like all three of us are. Was actually born here in Las Vegas. Unfortunately, I have to call this place home now again. All my family's from here, but yeah, I'm just doing the thing, living a hospitality life. I do work at a major hotel on the Las Vegas Strip, and I've been doing that for about 10 years now. Do I want to be doing it? Yeah, I'm happy where I am, but I think we should probably wing this podcast thing and see where it goes. It's the milkshake.
I know. Has it been 10 years, really?
It's been 10 years. Isn't that pathetic? It's crazy. I'm doing the same shit for 10 years.
I mean, it's not pathetic. I just remember you like leaving, and then I was like, you've been in Vegas for 10 years. Like,
definitely a decade.
Man, that's crazy.
I'm happy though. I'm happy.
That's crazy. All right. Oh, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you're happy. Well, all right. So I'm CJ Spotsville. I'm also from Okinawa originally. I quit my 9-to-5 jobs. I was in retail for like 17 years, and I could not do it anymore because it's soul sucking, basically. So now I am a serial entrepreneur, so to speak. I am trying to run a fashion business, a baking business, and podcast, flipping
Like a real
vintage purses and clothing. Also, I know, right? It's a lot. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I'm trying to see what my niche is, but it's a process. It's been about a year and a half, and it's very slow still, but I know I'm building on it, so it's cool. It's cool. Other than that, I'm really excited about this podcast because it's my buddies from Oki, and it doesn't really get better than that because I know we're like pretty much on the same page about things, but in interestingly different ways. So I'm super excited. And then our Princess Brandy.
Yes, come on, intro. So I'm Brandy, and and I too am from Oki, the Rock.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to say it like that, or else it don't count. So. Dang. I live in Cleveland. I pretend to be a Clevelander. I know if someone named Candace is listening to this, she consistently tells me I'm not from Cleveland. Like when we were recently out of town, she can't wait to do it and shut me down as soon as someone asks, "Oh, where are you from?" Yeah, she just, "You're not from Cleveland." I'm like, "Shut up! You live in a place long enough. You're from Cleveland." So I claim Cleveland, but anybody knows when you're a military brat, you're in a home like that. So I'm here working in a call center. I'm basically like a virtual plumber. It's not the worst job. Yeah. It's the truth. People call me.
Wait, virtual? Okay, so is that like a customer service situation? Is that why?
Yeah, it's like
okay, gotcha.
Talk to the customers, the plumbers, the contractors. They'll call, and we're helping them fix their stuff. It's literally like walkthroughs, like the call I had today since I worked a 12-hour day, but I'm still giving you this good podcast.
Yeah.
I was on the phone with her for a minute.
Did she just go silent?
All because, what'd you say?
What just happened? Brandy.
Ooh, technical difficulties.
Hold on, guys. Let me get back to us. Oh, there she is. Do I hear her?
Yeah, I hear you guys.
What happened? You went silent for a second.
I don't know what happened, but I say we go with it.
That's fine. I'm just glad. If we have to, we can pause it for a second. Sorry, guys.
No, that was funny. I think the recording was like sick of my shit already. It was like, I'm done.
it's not even been 5 whole like minutes.
Yeah, I was like, I can't with this one.
Oh my God.
So to wrap up before the computer cuts me off again, virtual plumber, yada yada yada. It's good money. It's not the worst job in the world. There is worse. Like the time I was almost a phone sex operator, but we'll save that for another podcast.
Is that the voice you were using earlier to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hold on. I got it. That's where the voice comes from. Yeah.
I'm done. Please go away. Please go away. Oh my God. Listen.
Can you imagine if I had actually done that and someone calls up and I know the person?
Oh, ouch. No.
Wouldn't that be worse?
Like I would accidentally hang up on them.
Yeah. No. I'm finishing the job because I want to get paid, so I'm gonna finish it. But anyway, back on track. So, single momming.
Yes.
Single again. Divorcee. Definitely didn't. I've been divorced for a minute. Freshly single again. Back on the prowl. Yeah, didn't plan on it. Definitely dying inside about it.
No.
But again, for another podcast. We'll get into all that fun.
We will
later. But I will say I am the happiest I've been in a minute. All the rest of the crazy stuff that's been going on aside. Starting this podcast, doing the cosplay I do as my hobby on the side.
Yes.
Getting ready to jump that off into a separate business so I can get paid more money. Boom. And doing this, podcast with the Okie homies. I'm really excited about giving my energy to more creative things,
There's the voice.
I'm just gonna keep slipping in and out of it.
Oh my God. So I guess I should have added that I'm in Texas. I totally forgot to tell y'all my location. So I'm outside of Dallas, somewhere in that DFW area. So obviously we're from 3 different locations. So y'all forgive us if we have some technical difficulties here and there. Because it's bound to happen. I already know. I feel it. It's Mercury in retrograde. So we
try to take that away from us.
Yeah, no, right?
Yeah, Demetrius definitely sounds like a Decepticon, so this is gonna be great.
Your mic is your microphone good? You got it flipped over your back? Okay. Just don't be too well, yeah, you read my chat, so don't be too loud because then you break up when you're loud.
Exactly what I said.
So I guess we should get into like how we met. I don't know. Anybody want to take that? Do you want me to start it? Like, I was already there. I was like graduated out of high school, but I was sponsoring a dance team, and these 2 kiddos. You guys were kiddos then, were freshmen, came into my world as, according to them, made the dance team way better. Oh my God, D, I can't understand you.
She can't understand you because you were speaking that truth. I understood you. I heard what you said, my boy.
What did you say? Don't say it again. Say it again. What did you say? Oh man, damn. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, but it was cool. But you know what? Let's seriously though, we did a pretty good job of choreography. I think we may have contributed the most actually for choreo. I think we did.
I think that's probably why we all ended up bonding so closely because
I think we talked about choreo a lot within ourselves
when CJ wasn't scolding us. We were because she was okay. So she was like mom times 10, y'all. And if anybody knows,
wait a minute.
If anybody knows me or Demetrius, y'all know we are goofy, we loud, we crazy, off task. Like it's crazy.
Off task.
And I'll admit it, okay? But when we deliver, we deliver. And
That's true.
That's why we always had a chip on our shoulder with the whole dance team thing. Because I started off wanting to try out to be a part of the Kadena Panthers, cheerleading squad. And it was like, you ain't it. So I was like, okay, I still want to do something. Right. What can I do? What else is there? And I don't even remember how I heard about a dance team or tryouts or anything, but I do remember Val was a part of my same little tryout set. I want to say I remember seeing Demetrius, but for some reason I just didn't like this Negro. Couldn't put my finger on it. I don't think.
Oh no!
I don't think we liked each other. No. He can talk next. I really don't think we liked each other. I couldn't even tell you why.
Do you think it was the Cisco hair?
Oh shit! I forgot I had the Cisco look going on. Oh, you got line for that one. I completely forgot I had that look. Maybe I don't like myself back then either, so it's cool.
I mean, I mean, like it's cool. I appreciated it. I was just like, dude, this tall ass 13-year-old with Cisco hair and
Oh
all them
man.
earrings, like I wasn't ready. And then he told me he was 13. I was like, wait, hold up. Wait a minute.
I will say
what do you mean?
when I found some like wherever I didn't like him, when I respected him, is when I saw okay, not only can he dance, but he can actually like choreograph, and that was probably like a thing I had to learn to do better because I had to teach myself, to stay on beat because I did not have a natural sense of rhythm until like 7th grade.
But you really didn't like me though?
I don't know why. I didn't.
He's still stuck on
No,
I'm stuck on
you
it.
said you didn't like
I had no idea. What?
Yeah, I remember you were like, "Oh, you remember we hate each other?" And I was like, "Yeah, great times." Haha.
I don't remember this. That's wow, Brandy. That really wow. Thanks. I never hated you, Brandy. I never hated you.
When I met up,
that's how you remember me. I'm just playing. Who knows? Who knows?
Oh, don't cry, D. Don't cry, D. Sound like you're about to cry.
At this point in life, I'll drink them tears. I don't care no more.
2019, no holding back.
Hey, look.
But I do remember this. I do remember asking Brandy about the location. I think that was one of the first conversations I had with Brandy. Is where are these auditions going to be? Because I had just gotten there like the end of my 8th grade year, and I didn't know nobody. And we lived off base in the middle of just a regular neighborhood, so there was no English speakers within like a 3-mile radius. So,
oh yeah, when you live off base, it was kind of hard, I guess. Like,
yeah, it was really hard, especially you just got there. I didn't know what anything was. I didn't know anything. So I saw the advertisement at school after my freshman year started, and I was like, okay, well, I guess here's my chance to make friends. And I heard Brandy talk about it, and I was like, where's it going to be? And she was like, Rise in the Gym. And she walked away. I was like, where is Rise in the Gym? I'm missing directions, too.
Rise in your gym, bitch.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we totally lived there. That was like the craziest. The craziest. I mean, it worked out. We did good. We did pretty good. We did like little shows. We did like our biggest one was probably the DMX one, right? Like on the island. We did all the little bass festivals and weird.
Yeah,
little...
I'm like for you younger boys and girls out there listening, guess how old we are when DMX was still relevant.
Why you gotta say it like that though? I mean, I just I mean, it was a good show for us. I don't know if it was for DMX since he showed up like 2 hours late, drunk, and did 30 minutes, and people was not happy. Like,
I was just about
remember
to say
they asked us to go back on stage though?
Like he was so late. Like the producers were like, "Who you back on stage?" I was like, "To do the same shit we just got done doing." He's like, "No."
Just a different music. We're like, "Oh my God, what are we gonna do now?"
I just remember just like being excited just to be out there because it was like I'm gonna be a dancer for the rest of my life, and this is this is what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna give them Janet. I'm gonna give them Paula Abdul.
Like, oh my God,
girl,
Janet was like everything.
Janet was everything. What are you talking about? What?
I mean, she still is everything, but
right. That was definitely like a goal. I was like, I'm gonna be like Janet and Aaliyah and anybody else I realize dancing. And this is just what we're all going to do for the rest of our lives. And now
I mean, it was.
I know, man. I know the film.
I know. I mean, like, I think you have to like grow from like different situations, and we just learned that the hard way. Like, music is hard, dancing is hard.
I think
anything
what probably, like didn't help us, but did is we blew up on an island, which essentially is very easy to do given what's available, right? And then around the time that we're all leaving the island, this wonderful thing called the internet, or really social media, is really blowing up and expanding in YouTube videos. And now anybody easily be shown, or dance
Oh
shows
my
for
God,
hip hop
can you
groups.
like imagine if we had all this access to like online
Girl,
media and platforms? Like, was it you, D, that was like somebody asked you to pull up your performance, or was that you, Brandy?
Somebody asked me to pull up the DMX performance. Like, oh, that's so cool. I heard about. Can you like pull it up? So I'm gonna see it. I was like, pull it up on what? Like, YouTube. I was like, there was no YouTube at the time that I did this performance. So they looked at me like I was a dinosaur.
God,
yeah, they're like, pull it up on that VHS.
this makes us
Yeah.
sound so old.
But the change happened so fast. So I just
It
feel
did.
like we would have done. I feel like we would have fared well, or we would have had a hard lesson of, yeah, you guys were good here, but you got some stepping up to do when you're coming back here. Where do you
Yeah.
see some of these other, like when they had America's Best Dance Crew and all these other like dancers you see, and you're kind of like, damn, like there was a lot of talent out there. But I'm happy we got to experience what we did, where we did. I guess it was supposed to happen that
Yeah.
way, or else it would have
I think
been
so.
different.
I had a lot of fun doing it. I try to get my feet. I guess I always try to like do multiple things because even when I was doing that, I was trying to, remember I was trying to be a Japanese rapper. Remember that? Shit.
Oh yeah.
I mean, did my auditions and stuff.
On TV.
Went all the way to Tokyo and stuff, and then like 9/11 happened, so I couldn't get on the plane to get to like a couple of the finals and shit. That was, it was meant to be. Like I got a good taste of like dancing, being on stage, thinking that I could be a rapper in Japanese. Like it was good times. I think we got through a lot. And good friendships. Most
Yeah.
of us are still friends. Like, and what was that? I'm sorry, did I miss
I
something?
laughed way too hard at that, and that was not meant to be messy. But anytime you laugh
Oh my
like
God.
that
Yep.
afterwards, now it's gonna be messy.
Maybe on another episode we'll come back to some of
Oh,
the
we talking
internal
about that
workings
today,
of some of
Mama.
that laughter.
Not right now.
Mm-mm. But you know what? I think that's a great place to start. But today we do want to talk about all this hot mess that's happening with that Disney Ariel situation. I know Brandy's super hot about it because she is the Black Ariel in her cosplay. I feel like you should
Girl,
start
and
it
it
off if we
ain't
got.
no black Ariel. I am Ariel. Okay.
First of all, there you go again. No, but no, tell the people who are listening what you were saying earlier to me because I think that was like some valid points. Now, don't get too hot
No,
now.
I'm not gonna get. I'm not. Come on now, it's me hot headed. Come on.
No, not at all. Not at all.
It was funny because I'm a part of a whole bunch of different like Blurred, that's Black Nerd for those who don't know, groups, and then I'm a
Yes.
part of other ones that are just for like geeks and freaks in general. So as soon as I heard the
Mm-hmm.
news of her being an undeniably, Black woman or young lady, Holly Bailey, if I'm saying
Yes.
that right.
Yep.
I keep wanting to say
She's a
Bailey.
singer like from her, I guess her sister Chloe and Hallie, right? Hallie and Chloe, something like that.
And yeah, and they gorgeous voices.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised because I expected Zendaya, and then we got Hallie even better,
Right.
I hope they keep her locks for the record.
Yes.
But anyway, I got excited because I had decided to do cosplays that were normally, white characters or lighter skin, just something that didn't look like me. So girls who did look like me could see this can be done. You can be a princess, you can be the hero, you can be whatever. And I like them to have that representation. So I put my picture out there on the different sites because I'm just genuinely excited about
Yeah.
it. And these people started to lose their mind. Now, granted, there was way more love, way more likes than the hate, but some of the stuff that they were saying, that I'm laughing because it's funny, but it's also not
Right.
funny. But that I look like, a turd in a green
Are you
shirt.
serious? Was that really one of the comments?
That's nuts.
That was one of the
Holy
comments.
crap.
There was somebody, I mean, because there's only so much you can say. So of course you're gonna go in on skin and my skin looking like poop and just silly stuff. Or saying that the character should not be Black or that I'm really not Ariel. I noticed one thing across the board though, none of them could say that I didn't look good.
Girl, because you look good.
You couldn't say that, so you immediately got super petty. So some of the people I'm going back and forth with, and not from like a negative energy point, just from trying to figure out what's your deal.
Or like to educate.
What's the problem?
Yeah.
Yeah, or to educate. Why are you so upset? Because this representation is important, whether you believe so or not. You have plenty of Caucasian or racially ambiguous characters to look up to. And as soon as it seems like you're not a part of something, that's when I've noticed some, not all, of people who are not of color or undeniably Black people seem to really get upset about being excluded. And I kind of feel like we live a life of being excluded and trying to get a seat at the table, so to speak. So I don't understand what people's big deal is. It's not taking away from the character we've all, known for decades now. It doesn't mean that Ariel is going to be wiped away. We're just given the opportunity to have a different adaptation. And I feel like it's a good positive thing. But the fact that there are so many people not just disagreeing, but disrespectfully disagreeing and being nasty about it and making racist comments and being disrespectful, I do not understand that shit.
I just didn't think they would actually go on and say comments like that. That is so crazy.
Girl, and I got the screenshots. These people were like really going in, like, is their welfare underwater? And the guys, I put this on my pages because the guy spelled welfare wrong. Oh. And I was like, had you said like whale fare, that would have been hilarious as a C joke and also a joke about an inaccurate stereotype about a group of people.
Right.
You guys can't even roast me properly. I'm helping you with these jokes. Or someone else tried to call me like, they mixed Thought and Ariel together. And I was like, well, saying like Horiel would be more phonetically pleasing to me. But, you guys, I come from a family of a long
is helping these people.
I'm helping them, I'm like, this is sad. You can't even clown properly, and you don't even probably understand why you're so upset. It probably bothers you.
Well, that's my thing. Like, do you think it comes from fear? Like, is there a fear that I wouldn't want to say culture, but I guess, just the history of filmmaking, these characters, you think they feel that they're at risk of that being taken away by the Blacks? You know what I mean? Like, sit your black ass down. Is it like that, or do you think it's just
the way you said that then? Like, it's just them being used to be the ones on top, I think. Like, and everything being a certain way for them, like from the get-go. You know what I mean? Because like like even if you were to join the military back in the day, because my dad joined when it was still segregated, you know what I mean? Like, even if you were fighting for your country, white people still got to go through the front door on military bases.
That's nuts.
Like, and Black people had to have their own squadron, like the Red Tails. Like, that's what my dad was in. Crazy, right? Like, that's how old. Yeah, I know. This Tuskegee Airmen. It was freaking nuts. Like, what is it? The 442nd or 422nd? I should really know that squadron number. I'm sorry, guys, but like, I think it's because they were used to being told that they were number one, and everything is like, I guess, like they were the sun and everything revolved around them. And I think that it's a learned behavior. So some people don't even realize that they're doing it, right? Even when they're arguing for argument's sake. So some people out there might be genuinely like, but in the cartoon, she's white, so she stay white. And they may not be like saying it to be like, oh, it's a Black person, can't be a Black person because she's Black. She's saying it because they're like, well, the cartoon's white. But the cartoon's fictional, so I don't think they understand that fiction is just that. Like, it could be anything because it is fictional. Like, it's a really weird concept, I guess, because it's fiction. It's not like Mulan, where it's based on history, or Pocahontas based on history. So there's already a real character that they're basing it on, and there is an actual, ethnic background or race to it. Ariel's fiction. And like, did you guys read that Disney put out a statement about it too?
No.
Did anybody, y'all read it?
No.
You didn't read it? Oh, guess who's prepared? Guess who's prepared? Because I'm overachiever Asian halfway there. Anyway, so it's off of Freeform, but what they were, I'm gonna paraphrase it a little bit, but they're saying that Little Mermaid is originally a Danish story, and she lives underwater in a kingdom that's in international waters, and they can like legit swim wherever she wants to. And for the sake of the argument, they were like, let's say Ariel is Danish, and Danish mermaids can be Black because Danish people can be Black. Because, people were coming at others like, scientifically, blah, 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 blah. Like, there's no science to fiction unless you're talking about how to, like, run a spaceship. Then maybe. But they also, like, talked about how Sebastian's a Jamaican crab. And like genetically, Black Danish people can also have like red hair. So really, there's no like, I don't know, there's nothing written in stone for them to be like, oh, it has to be a redheaded white girl.
And I really feel like it comes back to what CJ was saying earlier with a, a group of people, because I'm careful when I say this because I don't want people thinking, oh, she means all white people. Not all of you. I would probably lean more on the majority. And again, I don't even think they do it on purpose. I just think they've been subconsciously programmed to be first, to be catered to. When you think about images in the media, especially since we're staying on the topic of entertainment, your race in general is catered to. So you get to be the heroes or the hot girl or this or that, whatever is normally looked at as in a positive light. Your serial killers even get glamorized.
Right. I mean, they just did that thing on Ted Bundy with Zac Efron, right? Is that his name?
And even before that, you think about all those shows on the ID channel and everything. There's a whole channel, where we're just watching stereotypically middle-aged white men kill up folks, shoot up places, and just this obsession, and it's profitable. And it's like, even with that, it's like
pretty
really
insane. And like, you know, like this conversation happens at my house a lot because my fiance is white and my babies are half white, you know, like it's just one of those things. And and that's why I say what I say. Like, I feel like sometimes I play devil's advocate, but it's because when I have conversations with him, like I realize that he really like genuinely did not think that far into certain situations for example, I was at Walmart one night, like pretty late at night, getting some last minute grocery stuffs, and the car next to me, I think it was right after the elections, in 2016 or 2017, and the car next to me had a huge Confederate flag on the back, like covered the entire back of their Kia, I think, or something, and I was parked next to them. It made me nervous because one, it's at night. Two, like the flag, and to me and to most Black people and people of color, that is a symbol of racism, right? And like, so I came home and talked to him about it, and he was like, "But it's just a flag. Some people think it's Southern pride." But I was like, "What you need to understand is, I don't know that. That person could really think that it's Southern pride, like the Dukes of Hazzard situation. Like they're like Southern and they love the flag because of the flag, but they could also be." Part of the Aryan Brotherhood or whatever that's related to them. You know what I mean? There's no way for me to discern that when I see that person in the car. Like I can't tell. Right. So to me, I rather err on the safe side than not. So to me, I'm gonna be like really protective of my bubble when I walk by shit like that. Like, and that's like something I don't think they even think about because they don't have to live it. That's the thing.
And it's disappointing it's not thought about, because what I notice in the comments, because the places I posted my picture have like thousands of people in it. So we're talking like 3,000 plus likes and hundreds of comments. And to read some that are on the side of I'm a poop mermaid, or how can I cast somebody that can't even get like their hair wet or swim? It's just like, oh yeah, they're going,
Somebody said that.
I mean, I don't like getting my hair wet, but damn.
They're going pro with these insults. And even when people are coming at them with all the facts and logic, and the Black people can have red hair and blonde hair, and we can swim and we can do this and that and other, they're still just not trying to hear it, because I do think, you're right, CJ. It's just coming from that standpoint of you're used to being catered to, you're used to being first, and you do not like how it feels, even for a second, for someone to be like, no, someone else first. And I really want to say I really felt like when people were trying to have conversations with me, the ones that are being civil, and I'm trying to explain what this could mean to a little girl that looks like me, and what it means to me now as not such a little girl. And to have these images, which are so great. And even having that conversation is almost like talking to a brick wall, because it's still coming back down to them like, well, I just feel like it takes away from the character. And I'm like, well, how does it take away from the character? And how does it, and the fact that you're not even thinking, like, you're so stuck on thinking what this means for you and your little girl, or boy, whoever is into it. And you guys have a plethora of Caucasian-like characters to look up to that you're not even thinking about. There's groups of people that don't have anything or next to nothing. Or we got Princess and the Frog, and she was a
The
frog
entire
most of the
time.
movie. Like, there's no outrage about that because you're okay with us being second, third, fourth, fifth place. You're fine with that as long as you still get the top. And I just felt like you might as well have been telling me all lives matter throughout the comments over and over again, because I'm like, we're talking about us and something for us and something positive for us. And you're pissed off. But I like when stuff like this happens because it's showing people, hey, the prejudice, the racism, all the other stuff that you're saying is dead because we had a black president, or we can both drink out the same water fountain. That shit ain't over.
It is. I mean,
and it's crazy that it's this much energy going into an animation. It's like people put this energy into stuff that actually matters. Could you imagine the type of world we live in, how much different it would be? Possibly it could be more positive if we would just put that in a different direction. Why is everybody so upset about an animation when it's people that's not, it's people that are going to the album tonight, and people are so in arms over an animation and want to insult somebody just based on the literal skin tone of a cartoon? Like, crazy.
So, like, do you come across, like, because you work in Vegas in hotels, like, do you deal with, like, multiple nationalities and stuff coming at you differently? Like, I feel like that is, like, the epitome of a city where you can meet all kinds of craziness.
I mean, especially when you have to behave yourself. You know, you have to be professional at work when dealing with these people. And
of course,
sometimes, you know, you have to especially introduce yourself to someone, and especially if it's a room full of people. And you have the people, you know, good morning, how are you? Good morning, how are you? And when it gets to me, it's like, what up? I'm like, please don't do that. Just say good morning like to everybody else. Just because I look like it doesn't mean I'm going to be unprofessional in a professional setting. Now, if you catch me in the streets, it's a story, but I'm at work just like at work, could you not? So, yeah, that has happened to me before. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's so crazy to me. Like, and I think it's like, it's not always just white privilege, but like it's definitely a way that they move through society differently, right, than we do. Because like,
and you got to be careful when you say that too, because as soon as you say white privilege,
here's the thing.
I know some white people I've talked to,
they
and
get
they get
so
upset by that.
But what I've come to learn when I use that term is like I have to like explain it a lot of times, because the first thing they say to you back is, "Well, I'm broke too," and it has nothing to do with financial or status or statistics. It has everything to do with like the inherent advantages that they have based on their race.
How you get to move through the world. Like, it's about how you get to move through the world. It's about conversations you never have to have with your child that I will be having with my preteen black son. It's a whole nother ball game. But as soon as you do say white privilege, they're like you said, I'm broke too. I'm paycheck to paycheck too. And it's like, you still don't get
it. It has nothing to do with financial. Go ahead.
I have an example.
You gotta lower your voice a little. You're getting blocky again. Sorry.
Sorry about that, guys. No, but when I was in college, just something as simple as a question, people don't realize how it shows how the privilege just shines and illuminates the whole world just through the question that I was asked. So I'm just back to the U.S. at this point. I'm a freshman in college, and everybody in school knew me as the black kid from Japan. That's just what it was. So I had some people approach me. And there was this one guy, you know, they just had, you know, questions, the normal questions. There was one guy in particular who was like, oh, they must have treated you like shit over there, huh? And I was like, no, why would they treat me like shit? And I was really generally wanted to know, like, genuinely wanted to know why he would ask that question. He was like, oh, because you're black. And I'm like, why would they treat me like shit because I'm black? Like, it didn't really, like, in any situation that I ran into discrimination in, working out, it was usually due to the fact that I was American. It didn't really have much to do with skin color. You know, you would run into your assholes every now and then, but on a broad scale, it was because I was an American. It really didn't have anything to do with skin color, because they didn't like me, they didn't like my white friends I was with, you know what I mean? So I was like, no, actually, it's crazy because in retrospect, it actually seemed a little bit better than it did here in that regard, you know?
Right. It depends on where you went to. Like, I do remember in Oki that there was this club out Gate 1. God, like, was it called Third Floor? Something like that?
Oh, Vientos. It was on the second floor, and third floor was above that.
Okay, so one of those bars I went to with two of my mixed half Asian and half black friends, and one guy was Mexican but looked white. If I said names, y'all would know because all Okie peeps know everybody. I'm gonna leave it out. But like, so I didn't realize there was a sign there at all. And me and the Mexican guy who looked white because he was, paler, we were about to walk in after paying the fees, and they stopped the other two dudes behind us. And little did they know that I spoke Japanese, so I whip around. I'm like, "What are you doing, right?" And they're like, "Well, look at the sign. Like, if you are black, you have to be this rank or higher to get in if you're military." And of course, we're civvies because we're kids out of high school. We're like, "What?" Like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, I think it was the Latin club that was up there. Was it the Latin club?
That was called Vientos.
Is it Vientos? That's what it was, which is crazy because you hear the name and you're like, okay, everybody can go. But no, they had a sign. I still remember it was bright yellow with black letters. It's like burned into my memory. And I read it and I was like, this cannot be for real. Like, this is like 2000 and what? 2002 ish, I think. Somewhere around there, 2001 maybe. And I was just like, they really think that, like, based on race, they're going to act differently. And that's how it like spread across the world though. That's the crazy part. So like yes, like if you go to places like okay, most of the people you come across will probably discriminate. They're like gonna discriminate. They're gonna discriminate that you're foreign because that's the word guided, right? Like it didn't matter if you were like European or American or whatever, they just called you gaijin and they just didn't like the gaijins in their neighborhood or whatever it was. And like but then there was that other level of within that they actually put black people below even that. And that was like my like light bulb moment in a negative way where I was like, I cannot, like, this cannot be real. And it didn't help after I like left the island that it got even worse. Like when I moved here, you know what I mean?
I used to always joke that I didn't know how black I was until I got back to the States, and I was like, "Oh, I'm black." Like,
yeah. Me neither.
Boy,
definitely more conscious of it.
But so my experience is different because like D worked with me at the Flying J. Yeah. I guess I could say that. It doesn't matter because we're not.
Definitely sounds like a whorehouse.
Well, I mean, it's obviously not every place. It was the place that we worked at. We won't say the city name. If you know us, then you know which one. But but I just remember in passing, like when I got promoted to management, and they were like, they chose you because you were the lightest out of all of them, and I was like devastated. Like I'm gonna keep my paycheck till I find a new job, but like I just couldn't believe somebody said that to me in the hall in passing and just kept walking. Like it's the craziest thing here. And people really act like racism doesn't exist still.
Oh man, and it does. And those images, to get back what Demetrius was saying about 10 or 15 minutes ago, the reason why a lot of people on both sides are going so hard about the aerial thing or other stuff that may come up when it comes to images, because whether people want to admit it or not, these images and symbol really do trigger people emotionally and program them to think a certain way. I think there was a quote, and don't quote me on it because I read random shit like in the middle of the night, but there's Hitler went about it in the same way, like saying something to the sense of, if you give me control of a city or a nation's entertainment, you can push the propaganda you want and make them afraid of this, that, and other because of what you're saying or the images you're pushing on TV or in magazines. And the same thing goes for what we give our children. So if I'm breeding you from a young age, that you're the hero and the black boy's your sidekick, and you're the girl that all the guys, want, but the black girl is the angry one with the attitude and loud and this, that, and the other. You're feeding into these stereotypes, and it's very easy to tell people, oh, don't let this, that, and the other raise your kid. But if we're being real about it, how many parents are that active in raising their kids or trying to give them childhoods they don't have to recover from? Not everybody is A1 with that stuff. So this stuff is important. That way you're fairly represented, because I don't mind if you want to use someone of color as the villain, as the girl with attitude or whatever, but all the time I have a problem with that, because that's what I grew up seeing, and I did not like that. It's like you're feeding me these images of the Pink Power Ranger looking like this, and everybody wanted to be the Pink Power Ranger, or Kelly Kapowski being that, or whatever. And we had our shows of color, but a lot of the shows of color, other than like the Cosby Show and Family Matters, stuff like that, had always like older families and kind of more mature. It was very rare they were kind of like kiddie cartoon stuff. So I ended up getting into a lot of that stuff when I was older. Then I could really appreciate a different world. But when I'm freaking 8 or 9, I'm not watching Dwayne and Whitley.
She straight up said Dwayne and Whitley.
Like, I appreciate the show. Yeah, I appreciate the shows, but I'm wanting something that's meeting me at my level. And that's why this is a big deal. And it not only does stuff like that need to change, but more original content and us supporting that original content too, which will be something else we'll talk about in the Triangle too. I'm sure on a different cast, but the images are important. The conversation is important, whether people realize it or not. And I just hope it's still this same crap, 10 years from now, 20 years from now.
It's been going on since we were kids, and that's, I hate to say it, but at least 30 something years for me that I can consciously remember. So like, yeah, it's great. You know what's crazy? I was just thinking, like these people who are up in arms about the Little Mermaid situation. I wonder if they made a stink when like things like Ghost in the Shell came live action and like Scarlett Johansson was Motoko. Do you remember that? And
I do remember it. I don't know if the same people were upset, but you know what I think that was? And someone would have to prove me wrong, say something in the comments when we post this. I think that was a collective fan base saying, hell nah. Not so much a certain race, but a collective fan base saying,
and
no.
So that's the thing, right? So that's what I mean. I play devil's advocate. So like, if it was a fan base, is that the same thing with Ariel, or is it fan base plus the racists? Do you see what I'm saying? Because I feel like I understand the fan base part. I do. I kind of get it. I understand they were like, oh, I don't want them to change. It's like if they went and changed Harry Potter and made him black, the same thing would happen. I feel like the Harry Potter fan base would be up in arms. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, they would be very upset. But wasn't there even an article or something like that where the author was saying when they switched out Hermione either on a Broadway play or they did something where she was black?
They
and
did do that. I totally forgot.
And an old girl tweeted, because I think she tweeted in support, like she can be, whatever.
Totally
you know what I mean? And I can understand when people hold on to a character and how they look. I felt the same way about Princess Jasmine. Technically, to me, she was my first black princess, which is why I loved Aladdin. Because I'm like, there's a girl that looks like me. My middle name's Jasmine. I'm her. You know what I mean? Because I couldn't really see myself in anything else. And even Pocahontas, like Jasmine's hair seemed a little more kinky with the ponytail, and her outfit was popping, and she had the long ponytail at the end. I was like, you better.
Okay, no, I totally get it though, because like confession time. So I am not a huge fan of Disney to begin with, but I don't know if my dad consciously or unconsciously did this to me, but I have never seen Snow White all the way through. Never seen Cinderella all the way through. I don't think I've seen any of the white Disney princesses, like videos, DVDs at my house, like at all. And the only thing I remember is like Aladdin, Pocahontas, and Mulan. Like, I shit you not. And I don't know if he like consciously did that or not. Like, even with like baby dolls and stuff, had a mixture of everything. I don't know if it was like him trying to make sure that I got I guess a collective of every color, every race, every like possible combination of stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I get what you're saying. I think my parents did a good job of doing the same thing, but where they failed at in a way, and they both admitted this too. They jokingly say they didn't do a good job teaching me and my brother that we were black, and I'm on that with my kid because I'm like, we're in the States now, baby. Ain't no military base. It's a little different. But they gave me the dolls, and I had the image, and they would tell me I was pretty even when I was going through my ugly stage. So I got all that, but what they didn't do was have the conversations I have with my son where I'm like, hey, there are going to be some people that don't like you because of how you look. and it's not going to be right and it's not going to be fair, but that's reality for it. So I want to brace you for that shit now.
How
and I'd rather be the person that breaks that innocent bubble. Gosh, my mom's like, well, let me not put her out there.
But they look good. Your dad can cook like a mofo. I see all his shenanigans online.
He's ridiculous, but that's where I get it from. Both of them. But what's funny is I know they grew up in an era where, hey, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud, but they did not really instill that in us. I think they just mainly focused on getting out of their cities, starting military careers early, and making sure we didn't want for anything financially. And they were good at that, but did not really teach me, hey, Brandy, there are going to be people that tell you, well, you can't be Belle because your skin's different and your hair is different. I'll never forget hearing that in like 3rd or 4th grade. And I was thinking, well, I can sing the song like in Beauty and the Beast, and I've watched this movie a million times. Why can't I be Belle? I did not understand that there were going to be people that looked at me like you can't or less than because of my skin. And it's sad and all the rest of that stuff. But since it's not changing overnight, I'd rather prepare my child for it than just act like we live in this bubble where everything black is great in this house, and then outside the house you're not equipped to deal with anybody countering that with their opinion.
With that, D, your mom was like younger too.
Yeah,
wasn't
she was.
Yeah, I feel like y'all had a lot more black people come through your house because she did hair.
Yeah.
Like, was your interaction different though? Like, or was it more black? I don't know if that's the right way to say it. I'm gonna get somewhere with this, you guys. I promise. I have my own story after all of this. But
well, it's crazy because I was always told the opposite. Because I was always around a very, very black environment.
Right.
I was always my thing. And family would tease me because they said, "Oh, you act so white," because I listen to my rock music and I was into programs. I was into the Linkin Park stuff like that. How heavy I was into that. But yeah, my mom did have this conversation with me. I remember feeling like I wouldn't say I rejected it, but I just didn't want it to be real. I think it was more of that. I was like, yeah, this is really sucks, but I don't know. I guess I was just living in my own head. Like maybe if I just pretend like this doesn't happen, then it doesn't exist. But the world made sure that it existed, really quick. Especially when I made it back to the States. And that's
then it won't happen.
I realized how black I was when I made it back to the States.
Right. Me too. I mean, so mine's even crazier when I moved to the States to realize how dark I was, even though I'm on the lighter side, is because I was born and raised in Okie. Like, it was a weird, like, culture shell shock situation, right? Like, also because my dad was much older than y'all's parents.
Right.
Like, if he was alive now, he would be 88 this year.
Whoa.
Right. So he was already in, like, when he had me and my brother, he was in his 50s, right? So by the time I got to high school, he was 60 something, right? Where everybody else's parents are like 40, like 5. So the thing was, like, I still remember, like, because I so wanted to connect with my black side because the Asian kids made so much fun of me because I was too dark for them.
Right.
And I went to my dad and I was like, I want to get my hair done. I want to go get braids. And he was like, no, you're not going to run around like being super black is what I got told, basically. Like, it was like a different, because he came from an era where he joined the military when he was segregated, right? And so for him, being black meant something else than it did to me and you and Brandy. Like, yeah. So I grew up with this weird, like, I wasn't quite Asian enough for some people, and I wasn't quite black enough for some people and I'm not talking about any of my friends because obviously they were like totally cool with either one of them. But you come across people who are like, well, I see your hair, but because at the time I also relaxed my hair. I see your hair, you're not black enough, but you're dark, but you're not Asian enough. Like, it was like the weirdest combination. And then to have your dad be like, oh, you can't dress like that or talk like that. I remember, like, we used to get in trouble for saying things like homie at home. like even to our friends or to my sibling, to my brother or whatever, like, it was like a taboo in our house. Like, it was crazy. So, like, I feel like I don't know. I think I tried so hard to relate to either one. and went to a whole nother extreme that it just like backfired. But I got to a point where I was comfortable enough to like go to your mom D and be like, I need some microblades. Right. I need you to do my hair, like, because nobody knows how to do my hair off base. Like, I need you to do my hair. Like, I got to a place where I was comfortable pretty early, I think, than most kids really did. So I'm grateful for that. But it's crazy that we're still talking about the same stuff. And I almost think it's worse now, to be honest. Like, I don't know if it's this like the political climate that's allowing it right now, or like it's just a like accumulation of that plus like social media. Everything is recorded and posted and talked about. Like,
I just think it's easier for someone to say what they want to say by typing it out, because I won't even blame it solely on the
no, I
political
think it's
climate.
a mixture for sure.
I definitely feel like it's predominantly because it's just easy to type. You look like a monkey. Type enter. I can go to your
That's
bed.
true. There's no real world consequences.
There's not. You can make a fake page and say whatever the hell you want, and who's gonna check you, boo? I really feel like that's what it is, because half the comments I was even reading, I was like, you dare not say it in front of my face. And then when I see people say stuff to other people, especially when they're men, I'm like, half y'all scared of these black men. You dare not step to one and say that to a group.
You would never
talk
to people like that in real life. I mean, it's
ever. I even experienced in a call center. I'm like, y'all are, you look, I sound like Snoop Dogg. You sound real bold on the phone, nephew.
Not nephew.
But I bet you when I was doing face-to-face sales, it never, you may get snarky, but I'm like, they would never talk to you how they do over the phone. So people just get real comfortable. Like that video where she called him a nigger over the phone, and then
it's above me now.
And then thought if she could apologize in person, because that's what you do when you call somebody that.
Yes, it's next door and it's above me now.
Yeah, I love that epic. But yeah, just you got real bold and thought it was okay, and it wasn't. And
but isn't it crazy? It's crazy that there's like in different states now. I can't remember everything, but like I know New York's one of them, and there was another one recently that had to pass laws specifically targeting not being discriminatory towards Black people's hair. You know what I mean? Like the fact that we still have to put that into writing as a law, there's no other race that goes through that other than maybe like the religious garbs that some of the Middle Eastern religions have. You know what I mean? Like our hair literally grows out of our head like that. We can't fucking control it. But for whatever reason, having curly hair flowing out and being big hair, afro, whatever, is not professional to this day.
Oh yeah, and that's what it is. It's not that curly is not professional, because they like the curly mixed
say
baby
it
hair,
again.
the one that you lay down with the good hair. They like that. That's what some of them fetishize some of the Black men for, because they like the mixed babies. But when you're talking about darker skin and the kinkier hair,
the 4A and up, yeah,
those curls, kinks and coils, whatever people want to call them, that's what they truly have a problem with. And again, that full circle back to the like earlier in the video where we were talking about with image. And when the image is always pushed that your hair like this is sexy, your hair like this is beautiful, your hair like this is acceptable. So do the chemicals, do the flat iron. Don't wear your hair any crazy colors, because if you do it, you're ghetto. If they do it, they're rockers and different. If the Kardashians wear braids, boxer braids, you guys do it ghetto. It's ridiculous. And the fact that you even have to play the game. I don't even change my hair until I know I'm good and in that job.
Isn't that crazy that we have to think about it like that?
You have to play the game.
Yes, you actually have to take a conscious thought before you step into any new workplace about how you're going to style your own hair that grows out. You can't even have your shit neat the way it grows out of your head. You got to put some type of chemical in it, some type of pomade, some WD-40.
I literally have wigs on deck for different WD-40. I got interview wigs.
No, seriously, like I know that I have to either put my hair into a professional quote unquote bun, or I flat iron my hair when I go to interviews. Like
you have to damage your hair to go to an interview. You have to put
Hey,
degrees heat on your
you
hair.
gotta do what you gotta do to put that paper in their pocket. You know what I'm saying? But like,
And the fact that you have to do it is ridiculous, and nobody else really thinks
I
about
mean,
that.
because like there was a Dallas, I want to say I don't know if it was the news anchor or the weather girl, I can't remember, but one of the Dallas news media ladies got so much crappy comment because she decided to wear her hair out one episode of their recording, and people swarmed their website to be like, she's unprofessional, she's blah blah blah.
Yep.
Like it's so insane. And you know what? Like I wish more people would like stand up for it. And I know we got some allies for the POC community from other races. I'm not knocking anybody who understands all of this because I really do believe there's more good in the world than there is bad. It's just that the bad stuff make money and there's ratings involved when the media releases it into the world. So of course they're going to focus on it. But like here's my thing. This is what I was getting to. This is my very last thing. Um I know and have heard throughout the years a lot of Caucasian people, and I say that lightly because what I'm about to say about them. The ones that who always, when you have a conversation and they're like, oh, no, 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 I'm part Cherokee, so I understand. Or, oh, no, 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 like my grandmother's Creole, so like I totally love gumbo and totally like blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? But
It almost
Yeah.
sounds like that. I got a black friend.
right.
My
But
uncle's
here's the
black.
thing. Like if you do understand the culture, the heritage and all of that stuff, you can you couldn't possibly be silent while your brothers and sisters are suffering. And I mean because then if you're choosing to be silent, you're choosing to side with the oppressor. You know what I'm saying? Like and to me, when I hear the same people who are like, "Oh yeah, I'm like Indian, so like people can't come at me and say blah blah blah," but you look white, so you move through society. Like I was saying earlier, you still moving through society as a white person because you're still not engaged by police officers, security officers, like academia people, store employees for that matter. They're not looking at you like you're about to take something, steal anything. I just read a story about a black guy who was admitted to a hospital the other week on the second day because he was feeling better. Him and I think his brother or cousin asked the doctor if he could take a walk in his hospital gown. With an IV in his arm, went out to the street. The hospital security guard thought he was stealing the IV to sell online, called the cops, and had him arrested. Like,
What?
yes, like I'm gonna have to
Bro.
send you guys the article later, but I literally just read it and I was like, you cannot be. So this dude, he's not even clothed, he's in a hospital gown, but this security officer couldn't see past the fact that he was black and had something that he thought belonged to the hospital and he thought he was gonna steal it and sell it online. That was his fucking quote. Like that's what he said to the cops. And so he called the cops and this dude had medication that he had to be on. They basically took the medication away, arrested him, and then took him back to the hospital in handcuffs after talking to him. Like it's the craziest thing that's happening right now. Like it's not even like just like barbecue Patty or whatever her name was. Like it's way past that now. Like you can't even walk in a hospital gown to take a walk with your family and friends without people assuming that you're about to do something bad. And that's the thing, like they've created and painted a picture of the entire race to be negative. And it's
Oh
you know what
yeah.
I mean? Like the
And what
entire
makes
race.
it bad is they did it so well for so many
Mm-hmm.
years, like what couple of centuries, if that you did it so well. And what makes it also bad is yes, those stereotypes and stigmas and everything are out there, but the fact that a lot of them are still willing to hold on to it and be like, no, still black thugs though, no, still angry black woman though, no, you're still gonna steal, you're still dangerous. It's one thing to know, okay, I know there's a stereotype that you know somebody who's white and looking
Right.
sketchy in the mall might shoot it up, or y'all might shoot up a school, or the majority of y'all middle-aged white men, you guys make up the majority of serial killers. So there could be stereotypes and stigma about y'all, but all of the positive stereotypes, so to speak, or images of you outweigh
Mm-hmm.
the facts about it. But we don't get
No.
that same benefit of the doubt, and it's almost like
Well,
they
I
like it
mean,
that way. And and you wonder why people are upset or have a chip on their shoulder. You couldn't imagine walking through life constantly having to prove you're not what you think I am
It's the
every
same reason
fucking
why
day.
we get upset when, like, even as a victim, like the media produces negative life statistics of a black person who is a victim, right?
Yes, that is irritating. So
It
irritating.
is, because you're like, wait, he got shot, or she got shot, or she's dead. Like,
He's smoking weed with her. He's smoking weed. Like, get out of here.
Yeah, right. Doesn't matter. Devontae stole from Walmart when he
Yeah.
was 10.
it's so
Sorry, kid
crazy.
deserved it. You
But
know.
do you guys know the book called The Making of a Slave? It's by Willie Lynch. When you get a chance.
Oh yeah.
Okay, see,
Oh
like
yeah.
I said the name and y'all were like,
Yeah.
yes. So a lot of people like I've talked to who are not black don't even know where the word lynching comes from. It literally comes from this guy Willie Lynch's book, right? Because his last name is Lynch, and lynching is beating up black people is the original meaning of that. Like it's really crazy. And what's crazy is lynching, like beating up people. Even in Japan, it's called lynching. In Japanese, it's still called lynching. That's how craziness spread. It's all over. It doesn't matter what country you're in, it's still called lynching. They don't have another word for it. I mean, I'm sure they do have a technical word, but I remember growing up and hearing the word lynching in Japanese. Like, I'm going to lynch them, like they were going to beat them up.
Lynchy.
That's how they used it there, too. So
Lynchy
so
said it.
lynch sareru. Like I'm gonna lynch suruyo. Like I know. It's
I hate y'all. I hate y'all so much.
so don't get me and D started on accents and other languages because that's what we did for fun on our days off and after work. So we'll
I
get
can tell
into
you, they're very professional.
that.
Professional. Yeah.
So side note, anytime I hear that stupid song by Neo, like I'm so sick of love songs on the radio because you said Lagio every time it came
Raggio.
on. That's all I hear. I just want you to know that. Hate you so I hate you so much. But no, seriously though, like I don't know. I think this is a topic we're gonna have to come back to again too, because it's so thick and it's so like inclusive of all of us, not just like because we're black or
Mhm.
like mixed POC, but like we have so many friends that are non POC too that love us, care about us, and I feel like it's like something that I wish that other friends of like different races would spread like genuinely, like the positive shit. Like I know we got off talking about how like negative people can be, but I really want to revisit it because I know there's other shit that can come out of it. It's a lot. It's a lot because I want to get into like the whole racial dating thing. Me and Brandy were talking about it earlier today because I think that's another good topic to have, especially because you know what Brandy said, and I'm actually about to marry a white guy. So like,
And when she says
Right.
what Brandy said is, I'm very Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever,
So
yep.
all Wakanda forever. All the black men that's listening, what's up?
There's that sex worker phone call, boy.
Yeah, not sex worker. No.
Oh, that's not what it was. That wasn't your phone sex voice.
I never took the
Oh, I'm sorry.
job. I just did the interview, and you had to leave a voicemail, and then they called back and was like, "You got the job," and I was like, "Nah, I can't."
Yeah, I wonder how much do they pay well? Because I'd be bored sometimes. Maybe I can.
Girl, okay, I'm gonna say this because I know we're gonna wrap up our video. It was going to pay well. I was in an extremely like abusive situation. Right. And I had to find a way to get money without him knowing because I was being physically abused. He was over the money. It was a lot going on. Oh, wow. So I was like, how can I make money when he works nights? And then, you know, and he takes the car, so I don't have a way to get anywhere. I got to figure this out at home. Then I think I was, funny enough, I think I was watching Girl 6 and I was like, I can do that.
Damn, you was watching Girl 6. What year was this?
God. You know what? I'm not even mad though. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, boo boo. Just don't let the money make you. You make the money. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like that's.
So yeah, again, that's like for another, you know, episode. But we got stories for y'all. We got stories.
We got stories.
Yeah, we were talking about doing half an hour. We well over an hour already. So I think we got to wrap it up. I hope everybody enjoyed our random conversations. We're gonna keep doing this and bring it. You know what I think we should get people in the comments to tell us what they want to hear us talk about. Also,
Yes, yes,
yeah, I already have a
definitely.
request from one of my girls that sent me a DM after we started posting that we were going to do this. She was like, I would love to talk about, like women uplifting women, men uplifting men, basically, because she was having a hard time with like military wives. Ooh, that's a hard one. I do want to talk about it.
Dependopotamus.
No, stop! Don't use that word. Terrible.
I mean, definitely said it, but I think it would be cool to have some people let us know what they want to talk about. Because I did have a request from someone who's, I think you and I, CJ, a while ago, we're talking about when you should talk to your child about rape and what they are and what to expect. Because she had a situation where her daughter thought, when she put a Band-Aid on her that was a lighter Band-Aid, that she was going to wake up, light or white because her skin was dirty. It got like real deep. So, and then you realize how many brown Band-Aids are there out there. So yeah, we definitely need to
I saw a video of I want to say a Afro Latino guy who got a dark Band-Aid and cried because he had never seen a Band-Aid that worked with his skin. I'm talking he's like in his 50s. Like representation matters all across the board. Like
Amen.
everything. Because it is really annoying when you I started buying clear Band-Aids because of that. Like I'm not dark, but I'm darker than most,
Wait, is that a thing? Like the Band-Aids are supposed? I just realized the Band-Aid is supposed to match your skin tone.
Yeah, it's supposed to. It's supposed to be something you can't see.
Gauge. I thought it was just
no, no. So there's companies that's out there. I forget the name. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm sorry, Band-Aid company that makes this. They have, I want to say 8 to 12 shades or something. They had a lot. And they are to.
I didn't even know that's what gold was.
It's so crazy that we grew up thinking that was the only color. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To this day, I still buy clear Band-Aids because I ain't trying to look for something that's slightly high yellow. If you know what I mean, like it's really hard.
When I saw clear Band-Aid, what the fuck is this shit about? Like, why is there a clear Band-Aid? What's the point?
I mean,
that's the point. Mine is blown.
Yay! I hope everybody else's minds were blown too with that tiny segment there. But no, seriously. Yeah, we're here about to hear like an hour and 10 minutes, so we're gonna wrap this up. I told you we could fill up an hour. I told y'all. Y'all didn't believe me. I know. All of us talking would have been like, we could do this for 3 hours. You know what, Joe Rogan, here we come.
Not 3 hours. Not after I just worked 12
have you heard his podcast? His is like 3 hours at a time. Not kidding. He's just
I've actually seen and listened to a few of those for the whole 3 hours.
I do too. When I'm like working, it's in my background. Like because I love the way he like keeps it raw and uncut, and he just sits there, smokes weed with whoever comes on board. You know what I mean? Either they join him or they don't. He don't care. They just talk about shit like whoever he. But he's like no, so he has like cool ass people and celebrities and shit. Maybe we'll get there soon. Some locals. Start off with some local celebrities. D, I'm looking at you because you work in Vegas, so you need to start some connects.
Definitely. I'm gonna have C Nasty come on. He's a rapper from my neighborhood I grew up in. His name is C Nasty. He just got out of prison. He's on SoundCloud.
Oh.
Wow.
I can't have that. Wow. Yeah, exactly. But I think this is gonna be awesome. So if y'all who are listening want to leave comments once this gets posted, I think we're doing several different platforms. It'll be on our Instagram and Facebook, and we'll keep updating you guys on every new episode. Hopefully, we can do this once a week and get you an episode every week. Hopefully,
and be sure to tell us what you like, tell us what you didn't like. Be for real, or like my dad said, be for real. My dad says, "Be for real or be Ferroni," and he thinks that stuff goes so.
Oh no, dad jokes! I can't.
It's the best ever. Be for real or be Ferroni.
I have one living with me that does dad jokes because he's on kid number 2, and that's all he does. It's really weird. Our dynamic's really, really weird. He does dad jokes, and I curse a lot in front of my children. So,
oh, that's amazing! I can't wait to see that one up close.
I mean, yeah. at one time we might do some kind of family inclusive something. I don't know, with the kids, maybe. We'll see. But anyway, like I said, we've been trying to wrap this up like 3 times. It's just like a black person barbecue. Let's stop.
Okay, but all right, take your time, Pastor.
Okay, right? Exactly. So I hope everybody enjoyed our first episode. Leave comments, leave criticism, words of wisdom. Who was that English teacher who used to say that at Kadena?
Like and subscribe.
Questions, comments, or words of wisdoms. Please let us know.
Like and subscribe.
What? You broke up again.
And he's been like literally sounding like a transformer the whole time.
I know. Hopefully we'll work on Dee's microphone.
We're gonna start a GoFundMe for D.
Oh, you know
what? I borrowed this one from C Nasty. See, I borrowed this mic from C Nasty. That's why I stuck up. Black folk.
You know what? We're gonna start a GoFundMe maybe for like $35 so that D can get a microphone.
I'm really good. Sorry about this, y'all. I'm really good.
Oh my god. Y'all think I'm playing. I'm getting off tonight, and by tomorrow there's going to be a GoFundMe. I just want you to know that, and I hope that everybody gets in on it. All you need is like 50 cents, 50 cents from like 25 people. Like, we'll do it. Like, y'all donate $1 or 50 cents. Like 30, 40 people do 50 cents to $1. D's gonna have a better microphone. He is funny. You just can't hear all of it because it's fucking up. But not too bad. Not too bad. We're gonna stay on after we hang up for a minute, but I hope all the listeners had fun. Please come back and see and listen to our next episode. I guess we'll catch you later.
Deuces.
Peace out.
Bye.